Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about the best bicarbonate gum for reflux. So obviously there is very little more uncomfortable than any type of distress, especially right after a meal. You're in public and it burns, and the only thing you can really do is kind of hold your chest and rub with your knuckles to hope that helps, even though you know it won't. And then, of course, everyone's looking at you and asking, "Oh no, what's wrong?" And you have to just politely say, "Oh, sorry, nothing." Because you can't very well be like, "I know Tim is still finishing his dessert, but my gastric juices are making their way back up my esophagus and it's very painful. Oh, I hope that cheesecake was worth it." Right. So, easiest thing you can do is chew some gum after, right? Now, the problem is what gum? There are a lot of gums out there. And you'll find that for a lot of people with reflux problems, the most common flavors like mint and cinnamon, those can make things worse. So chewing gum has been shown obviously to have a lot of effects, particularly when it comes to any type of nausea, any type of reflux. It helps stimulate your saliva production. So that can be very helpful in coating the esophagus, kind of pushing things back where they should be, and helping to alleviate some of that discomfort. So, at its most basic form, things like Epic gum can be very useful. Now, I like this option because they have different flavors beyond the cinnamon and mint flavor. So you can pick bubble gum, you can pick fresh fruit, you can pick orange mango. Now, the thing I like about this particular brand is that it has xylitol in it. So xylitol is an alternative sweetener to just regular sugar. Now, nutrition aside, it is what you will be given in a dentist's office if, for example, you have a really dry mouth and you need to generate saliva quickly. So this works incredibly well at, as it says, supercharging not just your toothbrush, but supercharging your saliva production. So at its most basic form, this can be a good option for you. It has good flavors beyond the things that might exacerbate some of your symptoms. And it's easy enough to keep something like this in your pocket, in your purse, in your car, and pop a piece before or after a meal. Now, another option that I like is this one. This one is pretty fun. So Nazar has a bicarbonate gum that comes in different flavors. So you have the mint and you have the mastic, although I'll admit I'm not entirely sure what a mastic flavor is, because mastic really just implies that it's there to help increase your jaw strength and your chewing power. Anyway, they do have strawberry and watermelon. So these are different flavors, but you can actually pick the bicarbonate gum in particular if that's what you're looking for. So the bicarbonate gum here is actually a Turkish brand. So you will pay more in shipping. I'm going to say that up front because there are very few places where it is sold other than things like Amazon. Nonetheless, it is there to enhance your jaw strength. That's actually how it's marketed primarily. It is there to strengthen your jawline, help make you apparently look more attractive because of that stronger jawline. Now, I will say that no matter how strong the gum is, it is not going to be stronger than, masticating your food, right? Chewing hard, fresh, crisp vegetables, or even chewing, things like exercise balls that they sell as a way to also improve your jawline. So it is unlikely to make you suddenly look like a supermodel, but it is very likely to help you with your reflux issues. So you are going to pay for shipping, but you're also going to get a huge amount with this. It's kosher, it's halal, it's gluten-free, it's vegan. And when you look at the ingredients, you'll see there's not a lot there. They use aspartame as their sweetener. There's nothing wrong with that, but just know that large doses of aspartame, if you suddenly buy this, 5-count pack of 40 and you're chewing it every other meal, you might also be in the bathroom for aspartame related reasons. So it does contain about 0.5% of sodium bicarbonate. So that is what helps to regulate the acidity from your stomach. And with the bicarbonate version, the flavor is mint. Now, not everyone has those issues with mint flavors, so if you don't, this might be fine. If you do, you can look at the watermelon version, and it's not going to have the same bicarbonate ingredient, so that's something to consider. The bicarbonate one is a great option because of the key ingredient, but it is only available in that mint flavor. So Alka-Seltzer also offers another carbonate one. Now this is a calcium carbonate antacid. So this gum is there specifically to help with things like heartburn. It's not designed exclusively for reflux, but rather to help with the pain that's already caused after the fact. So it neutralizes your stomach acid in much the same way as the Nazar Bicarbonate Gum would do. And it is there to work very quickly and leave behind a minty flavor instead of that sort of sour taste that you get in your mouth with reflux. Now, as I said, some people do have an issue with mint. If you are not one of them, then this is something to consider. If you are, this flavor might not be for you. So you can see here that the active ingredient is 750 milligrams of calcium carbonate. So that's going to work the same way. That's going to help neutralize the stomach acid. Other inactive ingredients you can see down here include things like sucralose, so that's where you're going to get your sugar flavor from. So you don't have that xylitol there, but chewing the gum itself can still help encourage saliva production, and that can help neutralize some of the stomach acid, help keep things where they should be. So this obviously comes from the Alka-Seltzer brand. It's a good brand. They do have a lot of different products, but unfortunately, if you're looking for gum that you can keep in your purse, they don't have other flavors. They do have other flavors for things like tablets and chewables, but not for the gum. Now, it does purportedly work very quickly, and it's something simple and small that you can keep in your purse. Now, in terms of a bicarbonate gum specifically for acid reflux, Reflux Gourmet seems to be the only reputable option on the market that you can find specifically for reflux. And more importantly, that you can find with bicarbonate, with ingredients other than mint and cinnamon, and with a design that's there to help the problem at the source, not just the symptoms after the fact. So any gum, as you can see here, can actually be useful in neutralizing stomach acid, right? Your saliva actually contains bicarbonate. So that is a natural antacid. And if you don't have enough, chewing something like Epic Xylitol Gum can help encourage more saliva. So that encourages more bicarbonate contained in your saliva, and that can help. Same with the Alka-Seltzer Gum, same with Nazar. Even if you got the watermelon flavor that doesn't have bicarbonate in it, chewing it alone can help encourage the bicarbonate from your saliva. But that might not be enough. Sometimes you need to make sure that those stomach acid contents stay where they need to be. And that's why I have found that this is truly, genuinely, the best gum for reflux relief that contains bicarbonate. So you'll see here that the primary ingredient is an alginate blend. So the alginate comes from algae, hence the name, and it has sodium bicarbonate in it. So that bicarbonate helps to buffer or neutralize your stomach acid. The alginate blend actually protects your esophagus by creating this soothing coating over the esophagus so that you don't feel that burning sensation. You don't get as much damage from anything that might be making its way back up that route. And you can reduce the inflammation with the aloe vera. So the aloe vera helps heal the damage to your esophagus. The celery root and ginger root help promote your digestive health. And most importantly, this kind of acts like a barrier. So where other things like the Alka-Seltzer gum and the Nazar gum and this Epic gum might help with the symptoms by providing extra saliva production to soothe and neutralize the acid that's already in your esophagus, this gum doesn't have a lot of the extra ingredients. It has intentional ingredients, and that's really the clearest way I can say it. So this gum provides specific ingredients to create what I like to picture as like a jelly raft, and that raft sits right in between your esophagus and your stomach. So it not only helps soothe your esophagus from damage and reduce the inflammation in your esophagus, but it actually stops any additional nonsense from making its way back up where you don't want it with that little jelly raft that kind of just sits there and blocks everything. So they have a lot of different products, and they have two different gums, as you can see here, the Tropical Soothe and the Berry Soothe. This is the only alginate therapy chewing gum on the market. It is also the only chewing gum with bicarbonate in it that is designed for reflux intentionally. And it's the only one that doesn't have mint and cinnamon flavors exclusively. I prefer the Berry Soothe, but you can obviously keep either one very easily, very discreetly in your pocket. Super simple. So while there are a lot of ways that you can help combat reflux by increasing your saliva production and therefore increasing the bicarbonate in your saliva with something simple like this type of chewing gum, or the more expensive Nazar chewing gum that might also purportedly help improve your jawline, you are going to find the best option with Reflux Gourmet. Alka-Seltzer is a second, but I'll be honest, it's not even a close second. So I would strongly encourage anyone dealing with reflux to consider Reflux Gourmet because it is purposeful, intentional ingredients with good flavors and actual science behind it.